Hello again, and it's time for another project. Today we're going to route out this skull and two hands onto this 8.5 inch by 12 inch bit of pine. As you can see, the best way for transferring the image for me is to literally get the carbon paper underneath like so and draw around it. Now there seems to be a lot of drawing to do, but it's well worth the effort. So we've drawn around that, all the little details, all the little lines. If you're really clever, you could just literally just glue that straight to the wood and route over the paper. I've tried it before and it just doesn't work. So we've drawn it on like so. We've shaded in the areas that we want to remove. That is important because you can get carried away. Before you know it, you've took out the nails or something like that. So always take the time to shade it in. The bits we're going to use, as always for me, are these CNC bits. These are quite cheap to purchase. They're like little needles, and we're going to use these to go around all the outlines, all the pencil work. Because I do have a small shaft on them, you require a collet, and that's literally just a little tube like that. That's 1/4 inch, and you will pop your CNC bit into there like so. Now that will fit your router, no problem. These actually do fit the Dremel as well, but for today we're going to pop them in the router. Okay, let's throw that in and we'll start routing this out. Once we've gone around all our line work, we'll pop on a bigger piece. This is a 1/4 inch, and lower all this background just to make this stand up slightly. And if we can, we'll remove a little bit around the fingers just to give it a bit more of a 3D effect. We can't take too much out because of the thickness of the wood. Okay, let's start routing out. Okay, you can see from that we've gone all the way around our skull. We've gone all the way around the fingers, eyes and everything. I've took out the nose section just to give me some kind of depth that I'm going to work with. That was literally done with the CNC bit, just exactly the same. I will try and put this 1/8 bit on just enough to get in there a bit quicker, and we'll lower the outside to the same depth of the nose. Okay, you can see from that we've gone round our skull and hands the best we can. That's plenty deep enough. If it's quite deep, don't go round in one big cut because you'll end up just burning the bit, burning the wood and making hard work. So I've actually gone around this twice and lower it down each time you do it. Now it's still a bit rough looking, but we'll go around with the Dremel and sort this out. Try and make these little holes maybe a little bit bigger, because we've got to try and get some kind of paint into that. But anyway, that's a while off yet. I'll put on this 1/4 inch double bladed. Quite worn is this one, so we might just get away with it. And just remove the top and bottom section. Then I'll come back when it's time for a general tidy up. Another tip I have is when you're coming to do these end pieces like so, to remove that, you've not got a lot to rest on, to be honest. So what we need to do is find a piece of wood of the same thickness, like so, and if you put that alongside, it just gives you more of a surface for your router to rest on. So if you can see from that now, it's nice and solid, and we can draw that side, and as we come across towards the skull, we'll obviously have the skull to rest on. But as you come towards the edge, without that bit of wood being there, you can be all over the place. So that's just a little tip. Just keep things nice and level, should I say. Okay, I'll remove these top and bottom pieces. Right, we've gone all the way around that now. We've cleared all our back off. It's not a bad depth. You could go a bit more to make it stand out a bit better. But as far as I'm concerned, that's plenty deep enough. What we do now is get the Dremel with some kind of sanding burr on. Generally just tidy all these fluffy bits off. And then I put a thin pinned bit on my Dremel and just go inside these. Just give them a little clear out, a bit better. Because remember, we've got to get paint inside these, and they are just so small, and then we've got to sand it all. We could end up sanding most of this away. So, much as I don't want to, we're going to have to give a little bit more depth in these, literally just to hold the paint. Okay, let's tidy it up, bit of sandpaper, bit of Dremel, and then we'll be on to the painting stage. Right, you can see from that, we've cleaned it all down. It's all routed out nicely. All we've got to do now is get some painting. What I'm going to do this time, I'm going to spray this full piece with some kind of sealant. Any varnish, lacquer. I'm going to use this one. And we're going to seal this wood the best we can. And then hopefully, I'm going to try and put some acrylic paint on. And we're just going to try and rub it into these small pieces that have been carved out. Because these are so small, I think to put paint straight in there and then sand it down, we are basically going to sand them all away. So a friend recommended sealing it all first to put that shine on, so the paint basically won't stick to it too easy. And while it's still wet, we can rub it away with a damp cloth, and hopefully it's filled all these gaps in with the black paint. This is going to be a first time for me. So let's try it out. And basically we're just going to spray the full thing with this, or any lacquer, varnish. That's just a simple case of going over like that. And we'll do this 3 or 4 times, just enough to start getting a nice shine on it. And then hopefully we'll apply our black acrylic paint. So I'll continue with this until it's ready to put the paint on. Okay, we've come inside now. That's all nicely dry. Literally about 3 coats on. You can just see that little shine. Like I say, I don't even know if this is going to work, but we'll give it a go. We've got our just standard acrylic paints, nothing too fancy there. We've got our bit of black, bit of water. We're basically just going to mix this, dilute it down basically, just so it flows a little bit better. Right, let's get some of this painted in and we'll see what we end up with. Now you might have to go over this 2 or 3 times because obviously some of that varnish has got inside those gaps and all. Don't let it dry too much. The longer you leave it, the more true you're going to get to rub it off. So that's just a little sample one. And we'll see now if it actually works or not. Okay, yeah, we'll get the general idea. So we'll pop a bit more on there. I suppose this way you will be wasting a bit of paint, but normally I would sand this straight off with a mouse sander or something, orbital sander. And obviously it certainly would be a lot easier. Because these bits are so small, we're going to end up sanding most of them away. Okay, we get the general idea. Just another little wipe down again, just to see with his cloth. Yeah, well, it's definitely filling in, so I'll continue with this and then we'll come back when it's done. Right, we've gone over that with our paint. It's actually gone in quite well, to be honest. Quite pleased with that one, so that's something we can use again in the future. Right, don't know what to do really. I think I'm going to paint the background of this just so that stands out a bit better. I'm literally going to use just a nice acrylic red. This is a bit darker than I wanted, so it's a case of just throwing this on like so, and we'll see what it's like when I come back. So I'll throw this on now. Okay, this one's all finished now. We painted the little band on the finger. I'm quite pleased the way the black's gone into the routed out thinner bits. So no sanding on this one at all. Just make sure it's nice and smooth before we started painting. I've also done the sides, which is different for me. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that one. Nice shine on it. And that was literally the same stuff we used before we put the black in, which was just crystal clear, like so. And there you have it, one routed out skull, 8.5 inch by 10 inch. Thank you very much for watching.